Every great change starts quietly, often without any spotlight or applause. It begins in those unseen moments when you choose to keep going, when you decide to put in effort while the world is asleep. Success is not born in the public eye. It's forged in the solitude of hard work, in the silence of dedication, and in the persistence of someone who refuses to give up. Every time you wake up early to work, every late night you spend learning, every failure you turn into a lesson. You're building something far bigger than what you can see right now. It's easy to look at successful people and imagine that they were destined for greatness. But what most people don't see are the years of struggle behind their achievements. The truth is, greatness doesn't arrive as a sudden gift. It's earned through countless small actions, sacrifices, and decisions that seem insignificant in the moment, but later become the foundation of extraordinary success. The world sees the final product, but not the pain, the rejections, or the moments of doubt that shaped it. Hard work is not glamorous. It's repetitive, demanding, and often thankless. There are no cheering crowds when you're building discipline. There's no recognition when you're working on your dream in silence. But those quiet hours are where champions are made. Each effort compounds over time, forming the habits and mindset that separate dreamers from doers. Those who commit to the grind without expecting instant results are the ones who eventually rise above everyone else. Every day you work hard, you're making an investment in your future self. You're training your mind to handle pressure, your heart to stay strong under doubt, and your soul to stay humble in success. The hours of effort you put in today will one day become your advantage, the reason people look at you and wonder how you did it. But you'll know the truth, it wasn't luck or talent alone. It was the daily decision to show up and give your best, even when no one noticed. There will be times when it feels like your efforts aren't paying off, when you question whether your sacrifices are worth it. That's when most people give up, but not you. You have to understand that progress isn't always visible. Growth happens quietly, in the background, in ways you don't realize until one day everything changes. What seems like slow movement is actually momentum building up. Every drop of effort adds to the ocean of your success story. Those who work hard today may not get immediate rewards, but they are building a legacy. They are shaping the world with their unseen efforts, influencing others in ways they don't yet understand. The path of hard work is not easy, but it's the only path that leads to real, lasting change. Because in the end, the difference between those who dream and those who inspire is simple. The ones who inspire never stop working, even when no one is watching. Failure is one of the greatest teachers life can offer. It breaks you, tests you, and challenges everything you thought knew about yourself. But within every setback lies an opportunity, a lesson that no success can ever teach. When things fall apart, it's not the end of your journey, it's the moment when the real growth begins. The pain of failure refines your focus, builds your strength, and prepares you for the victories that are yet to come. Those who understand this truth stop fearing failure and start using it as a stepping stone. Every person who has achieved something extraordinary has faced countless failures before success. They have been rejected, criticized, and told they would never make it. Yet they persisted. They understood that each fall was a necessary part of rising stronger. Failure strips away your illusions, exposing what truly matters, your determination and your will to keep moving forward. When you fail, you learn what doesn't work, and that knowledge becomes your most powerful advantage. Every mistake you make today brings you one step closer to mastering your craft. Most people quit after failure because they believe it defines them. But failure doesn't define you. Your response to it does. You can either let it destroy your confidence or let it forge your character. The choice is always yours. The world may label you as unsuccessful, but if you're still trying, you're already ahead of most people who never dared to begin. Every failure builds emotional strength, teaching you resilience and humility, qualities that success alone can never provide. There's also a deeper beauty in failure that many overlook. It keeps you grounded. It reminds you that you are human, that progress requires patience, and that greatness demands endurance. Failure keeps your ego in check and your mind open to learning. Without it, success becomes meaningless, shallow, and temporary. True success is built on the countless failures you've endured, the lessons you've absorbed, and the persistence you've maintained when everything told you to stop. You have to embrace failure not as an enemy, but as a partner in growth. It's there to challenge you, to test whether your dream is strong enough to survive reality. When you fail, you are being prepared, not punished. The universe tests those it wants to strengthen, and failure is the most powerful test of all. If you can face failure without losing heart, without losing vision, you've already unlocked a level of strength that most people never reach. Each time you fail, remember that it's just a chapter, not the entire story. Every great success story is filled with moments of defeat, doubt, despair. But what separates the extraordinary from the ordinary is persistence. The refusal to let failure become the final word. Because those who learn to rise after every fall eventually reach a point where the world can no longer bring them down. Comfort is one of the greatest traps in life. It whispers to you that you've done enough, that you deserve rest, that staying where you are is safer than taking risks. But comfort kills growth. It quietly takes away your hunger, your drive, and your curiosity. The truth is, if you want to build something extraordinary, you must be willing to step outside what feels safe. Growth only happens in discomfort. It's the struggle that builds your strength, the uncertainty that shapes your courage, the discipline that forms your greatness. Most people never reach their full potential because they choose comfort over challenge. They avoid the hard work, the long nights, the fear of failure, and the pain of persistence. They convince themselves that stability is success, but deep down they know they've settled for less. You can't inspire others by staying comfortable. You inspire by daring to face the unknown, by showing that it's possible to push through fear and still move forward. Every time you do something uncomfortable, you expand your limits a little more. That's how confidence is built, not by avoiding fear, but by walking straight into it. When you commit to a dream, you must understand that it will demand sacrifice. You'll have to give up your comfort, your excuses, and sometimes even the approval of others. There will be moments when you question why you started, when the struggle feels endless, and when comfort seems like the easier choice. But that's the moment that defines who you really are. The ones who make a difference in the world are those who keep going even when it hurts, who turn their discomfort into fuel, for progress. Every great achievement comes from someone who was willing to be uncomfortable long enough to see it through. The journey toward greatness is not about talent alone. It's about endurance, about showing up even when you don't feel like it. Talent can open doors, but only hard work keeps them open. When you work beyond your comfort zone, you start unlocking a level of potential you never knew existed. You discover new strengths, new ideas, and new energy. The discomfort that once scared you becomes the environment where you thrive. Every struggle trains your mind to stay focused. Every challenge sharpens your skills, and every obstacle tests your faith and your vision. The truth is, no one ever achieved something meaningful by staying in their comfort zone. The path to purpose is filled with doubt, fear, pain, but also with growth, strength, and fulfillment. When you learn to embrace discomfort, you stop being controlled by fear. You realize that pain is temporary, but the pride of persistence lasts forever. The future doesn't belong to those who play it safe. It belongs to those who are bold enough to endure the storms and keep moving forward, no matter how uncertain the road becomes. The world is shaped by those who refuse to wait for permission. The people who create real change are not sitting around hoping someone will give them a chance. They are already building, already experimenting, already failing and trying again. They understand that opportunity is not something you wait for. It's something you create. Too many dreams die in hesitation, waiting for the perfect time, the perfect plan, or the perfect approval that never comes. The truth is, there will never be a perfect moment. The stars will never align for you. You must act with what you have, where you are, and trust that your effort will open doors that planning alone never could. The ones who make a mark on the world have one thing in common: they take action. While others are stuck overthinking, they are already moving. Action turns ideas into reality. You can spend your whole life preparing, studying, and waiting, but nothing will happen until you take the first step. It doesn't have to be big or perfect. It just has to be real. Every step forward, nuclear warheads, momentum, every attempt brings you closer to understanding what works and what doesn't. The act of doing teaches more than years of waiting ever will. Most people fear starting because they fear failure. But failure is not a sign that you shouldn't have tried. It's proof that you're moving forward. Every mistake refines your vision. Every setback adds to your experience. Every rejection brings you closer to the version of yourself who will eventually succeed. The difference between those who achieve and those who don't is not intelligence or luck. It's persistence. Those who keep going, who keep acting despite uncertainty, the ones who ultimately change their lives and inspire others to do the same. Doubt is natural, but it cannot be the driver of your decisions. If you wait until you're ready, you'll spend your entire life waiting. Readiness is a myth. Progress comes from motion, not preparation. The world rewards the brave, not the hesitant. Every moment you spend doubting yourself, someone else is taking action on a similar dream. And one day, you'll see them living the life you wanted, not because they were better, but because they started when you didn't. Success is not about being the smartest, it's about being the one who dares to begin. The future belongs to the doers, the risk takers, the builders. Those who dream boldly but also act fearlessly. When you stop waiting for permission, you realize that everything you need to begin is already within you. The world doesn't need more people thinking about what could be. It needs more people doing what should be done. You have the power to shape your destiny with your decisions, your consistency, and your courage. Every action you take today becomes the foundation of the life you'll live tomorrow. One day, the work you're doing right now will mean something far greater than you can imagine. Every hour you dedicate, every sacrifice you make, every challenge you overcome, they're all shaping a story that will one day inspire others to believe in themselves. You may not realize it now, but you are becoming an example for someone else. Your persistence, your struggle, and your resilience will become the motivation that lights a fire in another person's heart. The efforts you put in today are not just building your future. They are building hope for others who will one day walk a path similar to yours. When you decide to keep going despite the pain, you're silently giving others permission to do the same. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, faith over fear, and effort over excuses, you're showing the world that it's possible to rise beyond limitation. Even if no one notices your journey right now, remember that true inspiration often begins in silence. The world may not see your struggle today, but one day it will celebrate your strength. Your story will become proof that ordinary people can achieve extraordinary things if they refuse to give up. Inspiration isn't about perfection, it's about authenticity. People are not moved by flawless success. They are moved by real effort, real pain, and real persistence. When others see that you faced doubt, failure, and obstacles yet never surrendered, they find courage in your journey. You become a living reminder that success is not about being special, it's about being consistent. That's the beauty of hard work. It doesn't just change your life, it creates ripples that can reach people you've never even met. Every great legacy begins with one person's decision to keep going when it would have been easier to stop. You might not have all the answers today, but your actions are writing a story that will one day encourage someone who feels lost. The strength you are building through your struggle will become the foundation others will stand on. They will look at your journey and find the inspiration they need to believe in their own. You are not just working for success. You are working for impact. That's the ultimate power of hard work. It outlives you. Long after the applause fades and the achievements settle, your story remains. People will remember how you fought through adversity, how you never gave up, and how your persistence turned dreams into reality. What you build today through your effort and sacrifice becomes a source of light for the next generation. Work hard not just to win, but to inspire. Because one day, when someone is about to quit, they'll remember your story, and they'll decide to keep going too.